And welcome to the Flatback 4 with me, Andy Maguire, and Scott Eaglin. And we are going to be doing a Premier League, kind of like a review of the season so far, haven't we? I say so far because we've got one game left today. But how are you doing, mate, anyway?
Yeah, really good, mate. Yeah. Going back into the swing of
things. Can I ask you, what is that top that you're wearing? Because it looks Spanish. I've got my glasses on.
So what I'm going to start doing is, mate, I'm going to start wearing a new football shirt every week. A random football top. This is Real Betis training top from this year, polo shirt. Nice. M&M Direct.
And just
give me some free
just
stuff.
Because we'll put the sponsor up there.
Yeah, we'll put sponsor on. Yeah.
What are you just doing it just for the hell of it?
Yeah,
we're just gonna.
Yeah, just for banter. Yeah.
People can tell us which top that they like the best. Anyway, so and we I've got to point out we have a super fan. We have a super fan watching. So Dylan, if you're watching. Dylan's 7, and you know Dylan, don't you? I think I know Dylan.
I know him,
I think we both know Dylan.
Yeah.
Dylan's a super fan, so big eye to Dylan. Love you, mate. Miss you lots, and we'll see you very soon. And hopefully, we'll get him on the show. Because we're going to get his football knowledge. He's only 7 years old at the minute, but we're going to get him up there to his football knowledge. So, Premier League review, it's done. We made a prediction show weeks ago before Project Restart was up and running, and I think I said Bournemouth might go down.
I think you may have done, mate. I think
think you said West Ham would go down. Now, I'm not saying we have to do a forfeit, but
What made you think Bournemouth back then?
You saw no cohesion in the team this year. I think players have lost a little bit of faith in Eddie Howe. I think Eddie Howe has gone to that point where he has taken the club as far as he could do. And I remember texting you a couple of weeks ago, maybe only a week ago, saying, I've really not liked the way Eddie Howe has come across on interviews and whatnot. I feel there's a little bit of arrogance, and whether that's him putting his guards up, maybe. I don't know what it is, but I kind of feel that maybe he's outstayed his welcome there now. I think it was time to freshen up. He had the argument with Ryan Fraser. And, I'm not saying that maybe, we don't know, we're not in there.
Yeah.
Ryan Fraser looks a really good, honest player, and I'm really shocked. And I think he liked Bournemouth, and I think he even tweeted or something. There's just something that didn't sit right with me, and I just saw them on that decline. Where when you said West Ham, I saw players like Mark Noble and Mikel Antonio that has always been an honest footballer and whatnot. And I just felt that they had the character and the right manager to get them out of that. Eddie Howe he was the longest running Premier League manager.
Manager, wasn't he?
He still is a serving manager. He's not gone yet, but obviously that the Premier League. But I just felt that West Ham had more character to get out of it than that, and it showed. And David Moyes has done a decent job, and I expect them to rebuild. In fact, I want to talk about West Ham because they might be putting in a bid for a certain player at Manchester City. If you know what I'm talking about. Well, we'll get on that.
Okay.
John Stones. They're on about getting John Stones. Now, I think that would be a really, really good move for him. I think. Less pressure on a big team. 20 million they're on about. That's a fall from grace.
I still think he's better than West Ham, mate. I still think he's a top off, mate. Yeah, but is he an Arsenal? No, he's an Arsenal type player right now because he's, not a great leader. He just sort of slot in there with David Luiz. I think John Stones needs somebody alongside him who's like a bit of a Gary Cahill or a John Terry, like a bit of a leader. And I think that's where he probably excels.
You'd argue though that's what David Luiz needs is a
exactly. What I mean? And there's very little of them types of players around, isn't there? I tell you, John Stones would be great for Leeds, mate.
Yeah, well, no, he would be. He absolutely would be. I mean, I don't think we could afford his wages, but I mean, the Guardiola and Bielsa, but I mean,
or even somebody like a Spurs, mate, with Vertonghen.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe. I think John Stones for us is a bit untouchable. I think it's a bit untouchable. But however, I 100%. I think Bielsa will get some. I think he would not turn him into a player. He's already a good player, but I think maybe he would stir him up and whatnot. I think anyone would be petrified of Bielsa. But
just touch on back on Bournemouth though, mate. They seem to have made some really expensive signings that just haven't worked out. I'm thinking of like Jordan Ibe. Who else did they get from Liverpool? Solanke. I think they paid.
Well, 15 million. 15 million for Ibe. That's what it was when Ibe went.
And he's out of contract at the end of the season, and he's leaving. It's just a complete waste of money. Yeah, he's done absolutely nothing. Solanke could eventually come good, maybe next year in Championship. I still find it amazing that he's played for England, to be honest.
Do you think Solanke may need a season down in the Championship?
Yeah,
it's
probably.
technically like a loan move down there.
Yeah, he probably needed that loan move that like Tammy Abraham had at Villa and Bristol City. Do you know what I mean? Like Solanke's never really had that. But yeah, Bournemouth. I mean, credit to Eddie Howe. He's had a predominantly British squad, pretty similar to like Burnley, but Bournemouth haven't really got the leaders that Burnley have.
I agree with that. And
they've got so much of the same type of player.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
That is exactly what I was just about to say. I look at Bournemouth and I don't see that variety like that Burnley. You know what Chris Wood's going to get you. You know what Rodriguez. You know what I mean. They've just got different players where, and let's talk about Ake. I mean,
yeah, I know.
I'm not so sure on that.
No, I think it's a good signing for City. I mean, for 40 mil, I think in today's market, 40 mil probably don't get you a lot, especially for a centre back. So
is that boosting the Englishness as well, like of it? I don't know.
I don't know, maybe so. But yeah, I think it's a good sign for City. I think so. And I think, to be fair, from what I've been hearing about Bournemouth's finances,
they need the money.
They just need anything they can get, to be honest. But
true.
If you look at Bournemouth's squad throughout, they've got the same type of play. If you look at the midfield, look at Lewis Cook, Sermon. You look at the wingers. You look like Stanislas and Josh King.
Yeah,
you're all, you know what I mean. They're all the same sort of players, so they never really looked like they were going to have a plan B.
Let me talk about that as well. You're right there, like Josh King and stuff. I mean, you're talking 6 months, maybe not 6 months, 12 months ago. He was talks about going back to Man United, and there were
like 20
Callum
million
Wilson were 50 million to Chelsea, and now I look at them players and I think,
the thing is with teams like Bournemouth, they don't seem to have a plan B, do they? They either play really good football. And if that don't work, what else do they do? They can't grind out a win like a West Ham can, like a Burnley can. They haven't got the type of player to grind out a win.
I thought the fitness looked shocking as well, actually.
The
games that I watched them, there were it was almost like they could not get out of second gear, and a middle of the road team, as long as they were just a bit more, maybe the fitness levels were a bit more. You just felt that you were going to get at Burnley. It was like you just felt it wasn't that tough. On them people then, so like you Callum Wilson, I've said he's nailed on to go to Southampton, but then I thought that Lallana was nailed on to go to Leicester, and he signed a 3-year deal at Brighton. But Callum Wilson's not going to stay down Championship. I'd be surprised if Josh King stays down there.
Yeah,
they need the money, like you said.
Josh King again would be another great fit for a Leicester. That sort of wing type player, a bit like Damari Gray. Callum Wilson, I don't know. He would be a good fit for somebody like a Chelsea, but he's either sort of Chelsea standard and he's had his bad luck with injuries and things.
Well, he's not going to go Chelsea because they're going to get Kai Havertz. They've already signed
that sort of big man up front, hold up play and that. I don't really know where else he could go in Premier League, to be honest. And I don't really know as well who would spend the amount of money that probably Bournemouth would want for a Callum Wilson.
I tell you when I don't know if I'm saying it because of they've got that new Villa kind of tag for me. But what about an Everton?
Yeah, but would he suit like an Ancelotti tag? Then again, it's like a big. Well,
I thought someone like Josh King would, or even Callum Wilson, but because you kind of got Dominic Solanke, Moise Kean. We're not sure about. He might come good next season. He said he's going to stay. I tweeted that I think he's on a loan move to Lazio, nailed on. But maybe someone like Josh King, maybe not Callum Wilson at Everton, but I think that maybe Josh King would be someone who could fit. But I don't know. It's going to be a guessing game. But obviously, we knew we lost Norwich. We've got to talk about Villa. It comes back to the Villa-Sheffield game with I mean, they're very lucky, Aston Villa, to still be here. They were excellent. Trezeguet came good, obviously, against Arsenal. Jack Grealish, he's got love and hate with him, but you can't deny that he's a top player. So
he's a top player, mate. I saw a stat the other day that he's dribbled the longest, like in sort of yardage, across a pitch.
Yeah.
Or has retained the ball the longest. There's no doubt that Jack Grealish is probably a better player than Villa are as a club right now. But mate, credit's got to go to Dean Smith, don't you think? I think.
Yeah, he's kept him up.
Mate, all he's received over the last 2 years is criticism off every other fan. I mean, Villa fans seem to like him-ish, but he's gotten promoted.
He's a Villa fan, though, isn't he?
Yeah,
he was a boy's
gotten promoted.
Villa fan.
He's gotten promoted. He's kept him up. A lot of his signings were questionable last year. They probably weren't his signings, but he's kept him up. And listen, you can say what you want about the VAR incident against Sheffield United. they were probably better than Bournemouth to stay up.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. It's a funny one with Villa because scattered around, they've got some okay players. I'm surprised that maybe they've conceded as much as well. I mean,
they were like John Terry.
I don't know whether I'm not feeling that defence. I'm not feeling that defence, and I think and that's where Leeds are going to have to be good when we come in the Premier League, because it really is a different ball game when you're playing against Aubameyang and Timo Werner coming in and these type of Harry Kane. I mean, Harry Kane. You all of a sudden as much of a good season like your Ollie Watkins have had, it's a different ball game. It's totally, and they punish you. So I'm really shocked, like you said, John Terry being there, that they've really been leaky at the back.
Yeah.
Really.
You do tend to see clubs, when they bring in like a defensive coach, like when Arsenal first brought in Steve Bold, he really had an impact on Arsenal. But yeah, you'd have thought that John Terry, as one of the greatest English defenders of all time, would at least stop a leaky defence. I mean, Tyrone Mings has looked absolutely woeful over the last 6 months.
I honestly do not see the hype with Tyrone Mings. I've watched him time and time again. I just don't see it, and I'm really shocked that working with John Terry, he's rash. I think he mistimes a lot of stuff. I just don't see it. I don't see it whatsoever.
Yeah, but he's got all the makings of in terms of his build, he's got pace, strength, but he just doesn't. He lacks that concentration, doesn't he? At really vital times, and he looks really rash. And I don't know. The guy.
Do you think that's it though? Scott? Like, it's basically concentration. John Terry wasn't super quick, super skillful, but he just read a game so well. It is in it. It's about reading a game.
Yeah.
And I think defenders now are more like David Luiz and John Stones, and Laporte's a bit of a throwback because he seems to have that kind of stuff. But you don't look at someone now and go, he's got absolutely no ability to run super quick or have the best skill, but just wins everything. He's so dominant.
It seems to me like that England call-up was his downfall. And I've said it so much, mate, and we say it, don't we, that once a player hits the absolute pinnacle of their career, where do they go from then? And we talk about players who have won World Cups and then they hit a downfall. Mario Götze, obviously, is Schürrle, and a lot of that Germany squad as well. But because Tyrone Mings has come from the absolute bottom, he's come from non-league, and he's got an England cap within 3 or 4 years. Right, then where do you go? Do you know what I mean? And he's just, I don't know.
I think that comes down to the player's own personal. I look at Ronaldo. He's 35, and he will still go home from training. He'll get on his bike. He does extra things. He'll play. I think it's in you, but I do think you can almost plateau. You get to a point and you go. But I don't know. I think Villa are going to be. I think Villa are going to be down there again next year. I do. I really do think they are.
I would expect Tyrone Mings to be a better player next season than he was this past 6 months. But again, he would be one of those that would need an experienced defender alongside him, like a Gary Cahill. Because obviously we know he's been absolutely sensational this year. But they'll need some really, really good signings, good Premier League experience. Not these signings that are from Belgium, France, La Liga 2. These players that you're taking a gamble on paying 10-15 million for, and then they don't pay off, and then they're on loan to Sampdoria 2 seasons later.
Yeah, I agree, and this brings me nicely onto the flip side of we're going up the table, and you look at Newcastle. We've heard that the bid's been taken off the table now by the Saudis because of the Premier League. I mean, I don't think it's morally right with the Saudis. A thorough investigation and whatnot. However, it seemed like it were more or less a done deal. I think the Premier League have stalled and hoped that the Saudis would pull out.
Yeah, I think
that's what's happened.
I think, to be honest, it's the bigger teams in it that have said no to it. I think there were a list of clubs that sort of said no to the move. Like Man United, Man City, Tottenham, Arsenal. Because obviously, pardon me, they're going to be scared of
rival.
Yeah. But actually, when you look deeper into it and you look at the Saudis that are coming in and their history.
Human rights is...
Yeah, one of the links to some sort of murder or something over there. Did you read that?
Yeah.
Mate, as soon as you hear anything like that, alarm bells start ringing for me. Just stop it.
But who's Sheffield owned by? Aren't they owned by?
So, yeah, I think they're owned by some sort of
Middle Eastern. You can't talk about...
But, it comes back to this fit and proper test that the Football League and the Premier League have to do. Look, if if they're starting to do it properly now, and I do hope that they've done it with this Newcastle guy, then fair enough. If we're stopping people that are coming into our game who are pretty much just coming in for a quick bit of money, quick bit of success, because look, Newcastle could have had some huge success over a 2 to 3 year period, and then these Saudis could go, right, we're done now. You know, we've made the money, and now we're off. And then it could be left a bit like Leeds were in early 2000s, just to sort of, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Form-wise, though, Newcastle, Bruce has done quite a good job. But again, you made a point of, you know, just going out and getting these players, you know, Joe Linton, all that money, and he scored, what, 2-3 goals all season at home, couple away.
These are gambles that they take out there, though. You know, again, I don't think that was a Steve Bruce signing. You know, could you imagine Steve Bruce going into the director's office at the beginning of last season, going, found this really good Brazilian kid. I think it's called Joe Linton.
That's someone South Shields, like. I know what you mean.
I don't think
it seems like he has no power there, does he? Because of, you know, the Ashley Rain and stuff. But on the pitch, you know, we're doing a review, and you know, Newcastle have had a pretty solid season. They've been okay. Some shining lights. I think they need. I'm not a big fan of Lascelles, you know that, but I think their midfield's been good. I like Almira, and that kid will seem to run all day. Seems to have found a bit of goal scoring form as well. So I'm quite interested to see how he grows. But yeah, I mean, I suppose Newcastle finishing around that middle of the table is like. Yeah, I could probably imagine that.
What Newcastle need to do is they just need to maintain where they are for now. Do you know what I mean? Until they get a takeover. If Newcastle, if I were a Newcastle fan, and I get that they've been frustrated. Look, it could be worse. You could be in Championship for 7 years. I think if they were to just steady away and then finish 13th, 14th, 2 or 3 seasons. Before the takeover happens, I think surely they'd accept that, because Mike Ashley's not going to pump any more money into him.
They spend their money on what they make in profit. It's just a general turnover. If they say, look, you've got 26 million that we've turned over that you're allowed to use, because Mike Ashley's not going to put any more money in. So you're looking, you think 26, what the hell does 26 million get you? Really? You know, unless you sell and you can add on and whatnot. But no, I agree with you. I think they need to have a steady couple of years and just hope that someone comes in.
Yeah, they've got to make some really astute signings, aren't they, over the next couple of months. And they've only got 5 or 6 weeks to make those signings.
True, yeah. Well, I mean, they'll be back in pre-season in what, 2 weeks? Two and a half weeks?
Yeah. But then again,
they're literally.
They had 4 months off. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you know what I mean? It's not. I would hope that in. You know, mid to late December, I would hope that these clubs aren't going, oh, you know, we're tired and, you know, we need a break.
Oh, no. I don't think they will, mate. I don't think they will. Even the players, I think, was it Mo Salah that said it's going to be the fittest pre-season they'll ever have? Yeah. Because he's literally just going to go on holiday for 10 days and then bang it in training. They don't get 3.5 weeks.
So they're not going to be short of fitness, are they? Because they've literally just finished. Right, mate, I wanted to touch on Spurs.
Okay.
What do Spurs need next season? What do they need?
Well,
will Harry Kane stay, and what will Jose Mourinho achieve next season?
Well, I think Harry Kane will stay this season.
What is a success for Spurs next season?
Well, it's so hard with a broken season in the first year in the new stadium and whatnot. But I think Harry Kane will stay for 1 more year.
You think?
I think he'll assess. Yeah, because I think
27.
Yeah, I do, because I think the melee of this season. There's not. Harry Kane is such a big name that I don't think the deal would be easy. It's like trying to maybe prize a prime Messi away from Barcelona. I think Harry Kane is like, you know, so I think for time-wise, there won't be enough chance to get that deal done, I think, because I think it'd be a roll. Remember Gareth Bale, it was like 13 weeks, and then when he signed, we're all like, oh, you know, there isn't that time. So I think he'll stay. He'll have 1 season. I think he'll judge it. I think if they get Champions League and the push, and he goes out and maybe in these next few weeks, defender, I would say another striker, like another kind of backup, you know, maybe like a goal-scoring midfielder. I don't know what's going to happen with the Ndombele. I'm still not keen on Hugo Lloris. That's my thing, but I think he'll stay because he's captain and whatnot. But I think they just need to maybe pinpocket a real good midfielder and a real good centre-back, or maybe even a couple of centre-backs. Let Harry Kane do his thing. Son, I like Bergwijn. I think he's a good player. And I think if they get Champions League and they show commitment and desire, I think Harry Kane is all about trying to beat Alan Shearer's record. The more I'm looking at him, I don't know if it is about trophies. which is wrong for me because I'm a big Harry Kane fan. But I do think he likes Spurs. But I think he wants that. I think he wants that golden boot off Shearer.
Like the record Premier League goal scorer.
Yeah, I do. I think in his head, he is a very selfish striker, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I think that he is. It shows a bit of lack of ambition for me because if I was him, I would have maybe gone last year.
Yeah.
The way that I was seeing his career take shape, but that's just me.
I think it stinks of a lack of ambition from Harry Kane. And to be fair, I mean, look, I know there's no loyalty in football anymore, and that's a great shame. But I think if I'm a footballer, and you tell me, mate, if we're in football and we're playing for Harry Kane, we're an Arsenal fan anyway, wasn't he? So it's not as if he's got a long-term affiliation with Spurs other than playing for him. You know, imagine if we played for the club that we love, and you know, we've hit 26, 27, and we haven't won anything. Mm-hmm. Personally, you know, you're being touted as like the next Alan Shearer. You know, you're potentially England's top goal scorer ever.
He will be that.
And he will be that. Of course he will. Yeah, of course he will be. Do you not want to go test yourself elsewhere, whether it be in Premier League or La Liga?
I think if it's at 28, it's that magical age, isn't it, for a footballer? Because it's your 5-year deal. It's that big 5-year deal. Yeah. It's kind of like your last, humongous deal, unless But humongous in the sense of the quality. You can get a big deal at 33 and move to MLS or whatever. But actually, in the grand scheme of things. Would he be good at Man United? Yes. But now do I think they need him? No. I don't think they need him because I think they're going to be okay up front. They've got Greenwood. Why would you go spend 130 million on Kane when you've got Mason Greenwood, who looks really good? I know he's not maybe one for next season, but if I were Man United, I'd be thinking, let's go maybe shore up a defence or get an extra midfielder. Yeah. Matic is, and all that. So I don't think they will. And that were maybe the gap window last year. Roy Keane famously said it, just go get Kane. It's right, because that's what old school Man United would have done. Now Chelsea, I don't think he'd go to Chelsea, but they're. So you think it's your Barcelona, your Real Madrid. I think he'd fit in well at Liverpool. I know you don't think he would, but I think he would. But if you don't move next year, he'll be at Spurs for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I think
in my way.
This summer would have and probably could be his big opportunity to move, don't you think? But the thing is, and I think the pandemic has probably worked in Spurs' favour here because there's only going to be 4 or 5 weeks where he's got to make that decision. So
100%.
So he's not going to think, right, I'm not going to rush into this decision. I'm probably going to take my time. And by the time he's probably taking his time, it's going to be 2 months into the new season, and Spurs are probably
I'll tell you something. And I'll tell you something as well. They're pregnant again, him and his wife. Right. I think they're only about 4 months pregnant.
They're really settled as well, aren't they, as a family?
He's not going to. Yeah, but he's not going to move at the minute. Like he might move next year when the baby's maybe 6 to 8 months. Not like I'm his PA, but you know what I mean. But I do know that they're having another baby, so that will play into him. You've got 2 kids. It's a short break. I just kind of think that you can't get that deal done this year. You cannot get it done. But I think for Spurs next year, if Mourinho could go for an FA Cup, get a cup, get Champions League again, I think he'll stay. If not,
I've always said that I think he'd go to Man United, Kane, and I always thought that would be the move. If not Man United, then Real Madrid, because I would have seen Harry Kane as a longer term replacement for Benzema. What is he, 32, 33 now, Benzema, is he, or something?
30, I think he's 30, 32, 33.
So once he leaves, who's going to be taking over, and there's not many sort of strikers like him that
I agree.
Do you know what I mean? That could fit in. So Real Madrid would be a perfect move for Harry Kane. But what I will say is this, mate. I don't know if you've ever realised this, but big moves like that the negotiations start like 12 months before, don't they? You hear rumours of like Sancho at the beginning of this season, rumours of him going to Man United, and that probably will be pushed through this summer. You don't really hear anything about Harry Kane potentially moving anywhere, and that's what I mean. That's not going to be one of these moves that you hear a rumour and then 2 weeks it's done. I think it's going to be one of those where you probably hear something this week going to Real Madrid and then it's done next year.
I agree.
So I think actually now, like I said, the pandemic has probably worked in Spurs' favour, and he probably will stay now.
Yeah, I agree. Go on.
But what do Spurs need, mate, in terms of players?
I think two. All right then. If you scratch out everything else, they need two world-class centre backs, and they need a right back because Serge Aurier is useless. So
You
For
really
me,
don't like Aurier, do you?
No, I think he's dreadful. I think he's a good footballer.
Mate, he's got the highest, or one of the top 3 or 4 highest tackling stats. Now, that stat is on one side really good tackler, but is he that bad that his second touch is a tackle?
Yeah, probably so. But honestly, mate, I think they need a back line. They need a back line, okay? And I think if they can get that sorted, and we know what Mourinho's like, he's defence orientated and they'll attack, secondary. He wants them to be solid. I think that, they really. If you just had a gun to my head, I would say, 2 world-class centre-backs and a right-back. And I think in midfield and attack, they're okay. If Harry Kane seems to get injured for roughly around 6 weeks every season, Son is a great replacement, but I do think you need a big backup as well for that as well, because you can't rely on Son all the time, as well as world-class as I think Son is. And I think he's happy to play that role. But, two centre-backs and a right-back, and they might push on next year. Just moving on, because I want to just touch on the FA Cup final before we finish. We spoke about the top 4. We can't really, do any more. But Ole's done really, really well with Man United. Chelsea, Lampard, excellent for them. I mean, for Ole and Frank Lampard, I don't think their season could have gone any better. They've got top 4, and now they've got Champions League. Do you see this FA Cup final for? And by the way, it was a missed opportunity for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. But do you see it as a real free shot for Frank Lampard? Because his main goal was to get him in Champions League. And he's done that. So now FA Cup final, you think he should win it?
I think he's. Me and you like Frank Lampard. I'm a big fan of him as a manager. I think this. There's a lot of stories about Frank Lampard. He took Derby from 6th to 6th, and he took Chelsea from 4th to 3rd.
Oh yeah.
From 3rd to 4th. But you look at the circumstances under both jobs, and he's done a fantastic job at both clubs. I think he's under a bit of pressure to win today. A bit of pressure. Chelsea are a club that win trophies. They've still got some very good players. I think it's more of a free hit for Arteta.
Okay.
Because I don't think they've got European football at the minute, have they, Arsenal?
No, they need. If they win it, then obviously. And doesn't that affect Spurs?
Potentially, I don't know what the ramifications are.
I'm sure that if Arsenal win it, it affects Spurs. It's unbelievable that.
But if Lampard wins today, then he's done a fantastic job this season. Even if he doesn't win today, I think he's done a great job just keeping him in Champions League. To be honest, with the squad that he has in terms of how young it is and the lack of signings that he's had to make and things. But if he was to win the FA Cup today and finish in the Champions League, trophy in a Champions League place in your first season as manager of Chelsea.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Under a zero transfer budget, no players coming in. Your best player, who I know you don't particularly like, but he was their best player in Hazard. No real goal-scoring striker at the club.
And Giroud has fought for his place again, and now he looked out of Lampard's plans, and now he's main man. But
there's no 20-goal-a-season striker in Chelsea's squad.
No.
A goalkeeper that's been erratic, to say the least.
Well, he won't play today.
Yeah, I know, but I mean across the season. A defence that's very young.
He's been dreadful, actually. I mean, we could do a whole pod on Kepa. He is dreadful. He's one of the worst keepers to ever come in.
Well,
how someone said he was 72.
You saw that, didn't you? The stat, he's the worst keeper that's ever played in terms of shots,
awful.
In terms of saves. But yeah, great job by Lampard. If he wins today, it's been a fantastic season. So I think
I agree.
But I still think there's more pressure on Lampard because Chelsea are expected to win trophies, and Arsenal. I mean, you don't know what Arsenal's going to turn up, so.
I know that, and that's the thing. I mean, they were so good. I mean, Arsenal, credit where credit's due, they were fantastic against Man City. I mean, they really were.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that was more Arteta's tactics and the way what Aubameyang, he's class. Aubameyang. He's going to score goals, and he's holding off with his contract because I think he wants to know minimum at his age is Europa League. If they don't win, I think you can say bye to Aubameyang. I think he'll go. But for Chelsea, I'm backing Chelsea today. I think Chelsea will win, and I'm going to say 2-1.
Okay.
I think Arsenal will score because I do think that Chelsea are a little bit shaky at the back, but I'm going to go 2-1, and Giroud will score against Arsenal without a doubt. Okay. So it's 4-0 Arsenal, obviously.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I fancy Arsenal today, mate. Yeah, I fancy Arsenal. I think.
Okay.
I think in a one-off game like this, they showed it in semi-final against City. I think they can beat Chelsea. I think Chelsea can be got at, and I think they'll target Caballero, won't they, in goal, because Kepa won't play. So I think they'll target Caballero. Yeah, I see Arsenal winning today.
Do you think though, mate, for both of these teams, it's so hard to call because actually, not that I think that they're evenly matched, but you go, oh, you can get Arsenal's defence, or they'll be like, yeah, we can get Chelsea's defence.
They can get both, can't they?
Oh yeah, they've got a good striker in Giroud who's on form at the minute, and of course, old striker of Arsenal. So you think, oh, there's that which David Luiz will turn up. And actually, I've got to say, Martinez in net for Arsenal has been superb.
Yeah, he's been fantastic.
Oh my gosh, he's been unbelievable. And they sort of do this, Arsenal. Do you agree? They sort of fall in shit and come out smelling the roses. They'll have a terrible run, terrible season, win an FA Cup.
Yeah.
And you look at the players and you go, you're not that good, but yet you win. And fair play to them for that,
Yeah, look, mate, I look at Arsenal.
to pull a rabbit.
I look at Arsenal's squad and I genuinely don't see a player in there that would get in any other top six squad, other than probably Aubameyang.
Yeah, they've got some good. I mean, young Saka's been fantastic.
Yeah, but that's it, mate. They've got some good young players, but look at their squad, mate. I wouldn't take any of their players to go into any other top six clubs. Tell me one.
No, not Aubameyang.
Yeah, just Aubameyang.
I would. He's class.
That's it.
Yeah, there's only Aubameyang. Lacazette's really hot and cold, but I don't think he'd break into Man City, Liverpool. I don't think
he wouldn't. None of them. And look at the defence. None of them. Look at midfield.
No.
None of them. And both their goalkeepers are very average.
I'd argue Bernd Leno is not a bad keeper.
Whose side would he get into?
Well, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably only if you're saying top four as now, maybe Chelsea, maybe
possibly
because they don't have because of Caballero and Kepa. But it's going to be interesting today. It's a 5:30 kickoff. Look, there's going to be no fans in there as well, which kind of does take away the magic of the FA Cup. But I'm actually excited for these two teams to be in it because I think it's going to be a free, not a free scoring game, but I just think it's going to be a free hit.
A quite open game. I reckon it'll be quite open as well.
I think it's going to be really open, man. Really open.
Which I think.
So I'm going to edge Chelsea.
That's what I mean. So I think that's why it suits Arsenal, because I think Chelsea are quite structured in the way that they play. They're very well set out. But I think with it being an open game, and you saw that with the Liverpool game of a week, man, when it were like, what was it, 5-3 in the end? I think when there is an open game like that, Chelsea can be got at, and I think Arsenal will.
What? Who do you think will score?
Aubameyang.
If you're going for an Arsenal, give me an Arsenal score. Give me a score, and give me.
I think it'll be 2 or 3-1, mate.
2 or 3-1.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think that, but for Chelsea, we've not. And I can honestly tell you, we've not spoke about this. So that's quite interesting. I think it'd be the exact opposite of that.
But listen, Arsenal need European football, man, don't they? Going forward to next season.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Just to attract that better player.
They're in a transitional period at the minute, aren't they, Arsenal? I mean, you could run through their whole squad and see who they want replacing next season. I'd only keep 1 or 2 out of Arsenal. I look at Kieran Tierney, who looks a great left back.
Great player. Saka, Aubameyang, and
Nketiah, obviously
Martinelli.
We know Nketiah, don't we, coming through?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, he's part of the Arsenal setup. But they've got a few. Listen, they do produce good youngsters, and they do buy some decent youngsters if it works out. But they've also had a lot of rubbish as well. Yeah. So I think we both agree though it's going to be an exciting time. FA Cup today, obviously live on BBC One. So yeah, just weird.
Is it Champions League next week?
And Bayern Munich just had a pre-season friendly immediately, and that's so strange that 10 days ago they finished the league. I think they give them 5 days off, and then they've had pre-season. They played at Marseille, ready for the Champions League. I'm still going to tip Man City. I am just going to tip Man City. I think they're going to get.
I'll back you on that, mate. I think
they're going to get rid of Real, but Man City,
for final.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, I think Man City. I think Man City. Europa League.
It scares me. Do you know? I'm going to say Man United.
Really?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I think now that they've got that top 4 shot, they can just go for it. And I think
Wolves are a dark horse as well.
Pains me to say Wolves are a dark horse, but I just feel that the way that Man U are playing and the fact that they're relaxed now that they've got the Champions League football, that's such a that's such a weight off your shoulders. Such a weight off your shoulders. And I just think that the way them three are playing up front, Bruno Fernandes, them again, you have De Gea and Maguire and whoever's going to play at the side. That's the worry. But Europa League is not that elite. They're not playing against Lewandowski. If they can keep away, or if they do play a Wolves, I think. Although Raul Jimenez is linked to Man United today for 72 million, isn't he? So I don't know, but I'm going to tip Man United. You know, it pains me to say it, but I do think that they'll. I think that they'll go on and win the Europa League, and that will be an amazing season for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because that didn't look possible.
They were dead and buried at one point, didn't they? About 6 months ago, they looked in a bit of turmoil, but he's turned it around again.
I agree. So we'll do more Champions League and Europa League reviews. So Chris, it's just there's games after games after games for the next 3 weeks, and then we've only got 2 weeks off, and the Premier League's back, and Leeds is back in the Premier League. So we will do obviously we'll do a preview, transfers, everything else like that. But thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and we'll be back again soon. For now, peace out.
See you in a bit.